Hello, and welcome to the second video about video game QA testing. In this video, I will explain how a QA tester properly documents bugs. This video contains clips and text that should be watched. Some of you may be wondering how hard could it be to actually write a bug. You may have been in a beta test before and wrote some bugs on a forum. Usually what people write may only be a sentence or two and select a few drop-down boxes. Professional bug writing is much more complicated than that. Let me break it down into simplified steps. Step 1. Find a bug. Step 2. Document all information related to the bug. Step 3. Proofread it and then submit it. Now, I will go into detail for each step. Step 1. Find a bug. There's not much to go into detail here. Step 2. Document all information related to the bug. This step is where the QA process greatly differs than some beta tests. Let's go over each of the fields common to bug report databases. You have the summary field. This field is where you would want to put as much information about the bug in as short of a sentence as possible and maybe a few keywords as well. This is a very important field as this may be the only field some people read before doing anything with the bug. The priority or severity field. This will always be A, B, C, or have some other letters like X, T, R, D, S. We will be ignoring the extra letters because those are unique to each company. Some projects will have both priority and severity. Priority and severity are not the same thing, but they are similar enough to where a project may have one and not the other. Priority is how urgent the dev needs to fix the bug, while severity is how impactful the bug is to the title. A Severity A bug is something major, such as a crash or loss of progress. A Severity B bug is something big, such as losing all audio or losing some functionality. A Severity C bug is a minor issue, like clipping or art. The visibility field may or may not be part of your bug database, but still warrants an explanation. It is the likelihood that a typical user may encounter this issue. So a bug that requires the player to run in circles while opening and closing the pause menu is a low visibility issue. The type field is referring to what the bug affects, and the selections for the types will vary from project to project, but you will usually see art, audio, environment, gameplay, lighting, text. If the bug is a typo, that would make the bug a text type. If the player can fall through the map, that would likely be an environmental bug. What if you come across a bug that seems to affect multiple fields? That is when you use your knowledge and make an educated guess. It is not life or death if you get the type wrong, as it will be forwarded to the correct developer. The reproduction rate or repro rate field is for how often the tester is able to reproduce the bug. This is often represented in percentages, and the percentage breakdowns can also differ from project to project. The description field is where the majority of the bug information is written. This field will sometimes include the steps to repro the bug, or there will be a separate field for the steps. It usually begins with another and more thorough summary of the bug. Then it is followed by steps to reproduce the bug. The steps are generally written as if it were instructions for someone who has minimal understanding of the game. Usually included in the same field but separated for the purpose of clarity is the results and sometimes expected results. The results field is what occurs when the user follows the steps written in the description. The expected results field is not always present, but this is the field of what should happen if a bug didn't happen. An example would be results, the game crashes, and expected results, the game does not crash. You can probably see why the expected results is usually unnecessary. The notes or additional info field is where you would include anything that may help the developer or other testers better understand the bug you wrote. The attachments field is where you would attach files such as logs, dumps, videos, or pictures. Step 3. Reread your bug and make sure it makes sense. Then submit your bug. It will usually go to your QA lead or senior, and they will forward it to the appropriate party after they give it a quick look over. Let us write a C bug as they are the most common bugs. This is from the game Phasmophobia. So we just witnessed the bug of the basketball scoring a point when thrown from below. So we would want to start with a keyword. Let's use the location. And then the quick summary of the bug. Now, the priority of severity. This is a very minor issue. Doesn't break anything. It doesn't hinder anyone's gameplay. So it's a C. Visibility. How likely is the user going to see it? I'd say it's pretty high. The type of bug. Oh, this could probably go under gameplay. Repro rate, 100%. Description. Since the bug itself is really simple, the description doesn't have to be anything too fancy. It could even be the same as summary. Now, the steps is where you would start including things like, you know, launch the title or game. Alright, so step 1, launch the title. Depending on how specific they want to be, sometimes you would want to put launch the title in normal mode or VR mode. Now, since the first screen, once you launch the title, will always be a lobby, you can sometimes just combine, launch the title with proceed to the lobby as one step. But we'll just be safe and just make it 2 steps. So pick up the basketball and move underneath the basketball hoop. Throw the basketball so it goes through the hoop from below. Results. Score counter increases. Expected results. The expected results, it's pretty obvious. That's why not every place includes it. Notes or additional info. There's really none. Attachments. This is where you would include the video. Let us witness and then write another bug from Phasmophobia. Now pause the video and write the bug you just saw. I skipped a few things in the video, so I will fill them in for you. Or you can continue watching and see how I would have written the bug. So let me explain why I wrote what I did and what could be different. I use global for a keyword because I know enough about the bug that it happens with all lockers. Other keywords you might have used is collision or the map name. The severity field I put A because there's a chance the player could get stuck. If you didn't know the player could get stuck, you would make it a B. For type, I put gameplay because that is the option that fits best from the options I listed earlier in the video. The repro rate is 100% because I can get the bug to occur 10 out of 10 times. I added a little more information in the description, but it can probably be the same as the summary for this bug. Now for the steps, I wrote them for someone who is decently knowledgeable about the game, but if I had to write it for someone less knowledgeable, I would include how or which version of the game to launch, which buttons to press for specific actions, and directions to get to the garage for a specific map. Results I wrote is what happened to me. I may have also written, the player is warped into the van, but I knew this was a global issue and the other locker doesn't warp the player into the van. The notes section is just extra stuff that someone who is trying to repro or fix the bug might like to know, and the attachment is where I would put a shortened video that shows the bug. Now I would hit submit and my senior or lead will look it over, send it back to me to fix, make any minor fixes themselves, or forward it to the appropriate developer. An additional thing to note about this bug If I suspect that each locker warp bug requires a separate fix, I would write a bug for each locker instead of lumping them together as a global issue. This is the main job of a QA tester. I hope this video enlightens you.